Mm. First swallow. You all up? We all up. Good morning to you guys.
Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Conversation.
Good morning to you. The birds are chirping. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Good morning.
Boom, I can hear the beat.
Good morning.
I'm gonna do my homework. Kia, we're gonna study to see how we put the video up and stuff. We're gonna get our work.
Girl,
we're gonna get our work.
Oh yes, we did. We put it on the phone.
You put it on the phone.
On the phone. Why is it 9/11? Really? All right. All right. Okay.
Take a moment, honey. Does it make you appreciate life, honey? Because at any given time, life can be stolen from you. And I mean stolen.
In a heartbeat.
So we got to be grateful for, listen,
every day.
Every single day. And so 9/11, let it be a reminder of,
tragedy that just took a lot of people out, honey, that showed us we is not invisible right in front of you.
Yeah.
Twice.
And even more so how people pull together, right, in a state of emergency. Right? That's why when I look at the word emergency, I say it's emerge and see. Right? Ooh. Emergency. Emerge and see. And so that's what God is waiting for you to see, like, right? Who will become. So when chaos erupts, there is a problem. God knows you are the solution. So it's an emergency. I need you to emerge and see who you shall become in the moment. But we ain't going to talk about that. We're going to save that for Sunday. Yeah. I choose me, healing.
I'm going to put you in an emergency
situation. Come on now. Healing ministry. So I choose
emerge and see what you made of. See what you really made of. It's an emergency. Let me see how you emerge.
Let me see how you emerge in the face of danger, or when you're afraid, or you know what I'm saying. Who comes out? Do you hide,
girl?
Do you run? Do you hide? Do you get serious about your life? Do you get in action for your what do you do in a state of emergency? Who comes out? The lion before or after he met the wizard? Because you remember the lion was a coward.
The lion up in you.
No, you're right. Because we all got you
come out.
Because we watched The Wiz and we watched The Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz.
And so the lion was perceived to be strong, but in the state of what did he do? Was he courageous? Well, who are you? Or what part of the lion are you before or after you met the wizard? Girl. Before or after you went on the journey to see, and I think what they was teaching you about the lion was that it was about the road. It was about his walk. And so he became more courageous as he was walking, and people affirmed and not denied who he is. You are the king of the jungle. They had to remind him of what he didn't see because he was stuck in whatever parts of life that he was stuck in. And so to be the lion, we all are lions, right? We all have the power to take care of our environment, right? To make sure that we're going to eat and things are going to happen. But the question is, what part of the lion are you in the story right now? Are you the part of the lion who knows with confidence who you are? And so you understand your power, or are you the lion who needs to be affirmed, not denied, so that you could be reminded that on the road to where you got to down that yellow brick road, right? Come on now. What did you become? He's on down. So that's the big question. Who are you?
That's it.
But we on hot topics today.
He's on down. I'm be finished this bag.
He's on down. He's on down. Yo. Don't you carry nothing that might be a load. Come on. He's on down. He's on down. Down the road. You will see that we should have been Nakia and Precious. We need to start watching movies and doing reviews because we are movie people. So we need to start going to movies on Tuesdays when it's up day. And then we're gonna come and do the reviews, okay? Because, honey, I remember back in the day it was Cisco and Ebert, and I think
Cisco and Ebert.
Yes, honey, I followed them. I love Cisco.
One of them had them glasses on. Both of them.
Yes, one of them had the glasses, but one of them passed way before the other one, and I think it was. I ain't even gonna say no name and get it wrong, but what I know for sure was that when one of them had passed, I was like, "What? They should hire me.
Come get you, girl.
They should hire me. I wanna watch. Listen, pay me to watch movies and tell you what I think, honey.
Let me do it.
Lord knows.
You know they be having them people in the carpet review.
Yeah.
The red carpet review.
Choose me, honey. Pay me to watch movies all day. I don't need to
come get you.
That's another dream, to have a theater. Just so I get the movies first.
I was thinking, oh, maybe I should have put some jelly on it.
Oh yeah, jelly would.
That would have been a sweet. Girl, let me finish my bagel, girl. Precious brought some little bagels in here, girl, this morning.
Yes, honey. That's
it. Little bagels.
So why don't we have a little bagel today? It's so Friyay. It's hot topics. There's no
y'all got
no actual goal.
Coffee tea. We got little bagels this morning, honey. Precious always come with some food.
Yum.
She brought some pepper steak yesterday.
Oh yes.
You always come to feed me, child. I always come for some food or something. We ain't gonna go hungry messing with her. I don't care where you at, because she's gonna have something in that pocketbook too. In the house, out the house.
Yeah, I get it from my grandma.
You would not go hungry with her.
It was really about all the kids I had too. Because ain't nobody buying all that stuff outside. They always begging. So I have my bag packed so that when we out, what you need?
See what I'm saying?
What you need? We not buying no $10 candy. I got the dollar candy already in this bag.
And I'm saying for everything. Somebody's shirt got snagged. Needle and thread. What you need? What you need?
I was born to be somebody's mama. It's in my soul.
She was.
That's so funny.
She was.
That pocket would be so big.
She was.
And you know what's so funny?
Even that little pouch. That little fanny pouch.
Little fanny bag with stuff.
It's going to be in there though.
But you know, I know, right? But you know what? It's so funny. Even when we talk about the pocketbook, when I had the kids, I was like, oh my God, I cannot wait until they are potty trained, and then they are toddler trained where you don't need a bag. I cannot wait to not have to carry the baby bag and all this. And then I go ahead and get myself a big ass pocketbook. Excuse my French. Okay.
Do no little
Why? I went through all of that. Like, I cannot wait to not carry this bag, to only make myself carry a big bag. Anyway, it is the most hilarious thing in the world. Like, as if soon as I didn't need a fanny pack, I was going to put my wallet in my back pocket. And that's it. I'm done with bags. Here I got this big old pocketbook that could easily be a baby bag. So I think it just grew on me after a while, because I didn't never carry bags like that back in the day before I had children. No. Yeah, I didn't carry stuff like that before I had children. I wasn't a pocketbook per se. I just had a little money in my back pile again, and my ID. Like,
I was a bag person.
I was never a bag person.
I was a bag shoe.
Becoming a mom made me a bag person. I was ready to get rid of the bag only to get a big old tote bag. I love a big bag.
Yeah. You even had the bag.
Unless I'm going through the flea market, then I love a fanny pack.
You had that bag at the club.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I'm trying to get rid of shit. And the president, I said, girl, take this belt.
Really think
I'm trying not to bring a pocket.
They're going to be walking through the door. They're going to be looking all through this big bag. Yes, move that over. This is my bag.
Okay. I be trying not to have nothing when I go out. I really want to put my ID in the bag.
I'm going to be sitting watching everybody bag anyway.
I gave you my ID card.
I know. Drop that in my bag. I'm the lady that's holding everybody's stuff at the table.
What? Come on.
Give me y'all stuff. Ain't nobody about to be dancing on my butt tonight. Right on my butt right here. I'm here for morals to sport. That's what I'm here for. I've never been a go out. I heard the season. Remember when we hung out? When I first relocated down here?
Just be chilling.
But honey. Right. But once the season was over, it was over. That might have lasted a couple of months. We went out for maybe a year straight.
Yeah, we have.
And that was the junk of my life of going out for the most part. Then I went out for people's birthdays.
I know. I was having fun. That's why I was telling Sheena's sister, because I rode with her. And I was telling her our story. And she was like, oh my God, really? That is wow. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. So last Saturday, honey, you could have slapped me once and called me 25, honey.
Girl.
Because we had 4 parties, right, Kia?
Your behind gonna be out the day. I said, ooh.
From the time, wait a minute, before the parties, we did the pop-up shop. Oh, I forgot. I was
we've been out all day. Like, we did that pop-up Saturday morning first.
We did the pop-up shop.
We did that like
Berwick,
from like 11:30
Parkway.
12.
Berwick Parkway? What is it?
Berwick Town Center Drive.
Thank you. I just cannot get it right.
Berwick Town Center Drive. It's so
And so this Sunday, there in Berwick Town Center Drive, 4933, and it's 4833. Sorry, I just gave you yours. Yeah. 4833. Correction. Well, it ain't no Berwick Town, so that don't matter. I didn't give you right street, so they wouldn't have found you. So 4833 Berwick Town Center Drive. Big old grass. All you got to do is bring a folding chair or your your little beach chair, whatever chair you carry. But this Sunday starts another launch of, it'll be I Choose Me Healing Ministry. So it'll be Sundays at 11 a.m. We'll be going no later than 1 p.m. The latest we'll be out there to 1, but I figure a nice little hour in which we will be what? We will be pouring into you guys. The prophetic soul doctor here, the Apostle Precious Paulin. It is time to make sure that I am passing the message week to week. So
get all the stuff she got in her out, honey.
Yes, honey. So y'all, it is free to you to come. You just got to bring your chair. And we will be there at 11 a.m. Yeah. And we'll have some ministry. We're going to minister to you. Because in order for you to show up for the world, honey, we got to take care of you. So I want to be in assignment time, get an alignment for my assignment. And so I Choose Me is the name of the game. And as I was reading the different scriptures, God was just giving me stuff like, okay, treat thy neighbor, love thy neighbor as I love thyself. That is all about I Choose Me. Also, great is he that is in me than he that is in the world. That's more I Choose Me. That's more identifying with self in order to get past the lessons, to turn them into your blessings. As I say, until your mess age, you won't have a message, right? And so you got to get through it in order to tell somebody else how to get out of what you came through. And then be strong enough, brave enough, and real enough to accept the things that you cannot change in order to be the change God called you to be. And so that's what the I Choose Me Healing Ministry is going to be all about. It's going to be about going BIP. When I choose me, it's like going BIP. You get a seat at God's feet, right? Because he already gave each of us general admission. But the things and the desires of our heart, it requires for us to literally walk toward him, to pay extra, to give him more time, to give him more love, to give him more patience, to get more intimate with God, which is with yourself, right? Because knowing you is knowing God. And when you get in those quiet places, all you hear is the whispers inside your own head. And so they say, it's crazy when you talk to yourself. I say it's crazy when you don't talk to yourself, because who reasons with you if not you, who with you 24/7? So as I say, I Choose Me is not selfish, it's selfless. But you must be selfish first in I Choose Me, because when you look at the word selfish, it just means fish for self. Right. And so in order to be who you were called to be, you have to figure out what you are. And that takes some intimate time. That takes some isolation. And so when people are isolated, if you're doing what you want to do and you say no to other people, they call that selfish. But what it's really doing is allowing you to fish for yourself in order to be selfless, because God said give to receive. But until I know who I am, to I sought for X in order to give, because I've taken the time to figure out who I am, been selfish, fish for self. Then I get to the next level of myself, which is selfless. Now I know how to apply myself. So I come in with less of myself, more of God, in order to be what? Get out of my feelings and into my healing. And so when I become selfless, which means I remove me, right? Morning and morning, remove you and the sun can rise. So we have to deal with the trauma and deal with coming out of our pain and into our power in order to arrive and be the answer. And that's all the self-love journey. And so it's about learning that in order for me to love you, I have to first love myself. But in order for me to love myself, I have to embrace love, find myself worthy, forgive Forgive. That's going to be one of the major things that we cover at I Choose Me Healing Ministry. Forgiveness of self first. Right? Because I need to forgive myself for allowing you to do me like this. I got to forgive myself for feeling like I needed this. I have to forgive myself for walking away too soon thinking I wasn't ready. I mean, it's not always going. Sometimes it's forgive yourself because you didn't stay and you were capable of staying, right? But you just wanted what you wanted, how you wanted, and you weren't willing to process, right? I said purpose is not microwavable. It's like Big Mama's cooking. It takes time for your mess to age, for you to have a message, right? It took years for me to speak about being molested, even more years to speak about the who, right? Because I say the who may kill you, but the what will heal you. And so when we start to embrace all of these messages and words and start to apply it for the power that they are, we realize that when everybody takes care of themselves, there is nothing left to do. And so self-love is the best love that you can give because it allows you to figure out who you are and what your place is in this earth. So you're not competing, but you come to complete because I know my value. So I know where to stick myself at in the building because I've become certifiable in me. I certify me. So I know who that be's, right? And so that's the job. And that's the mission of the I Choose Me Healing Ministry, where there are no floor, walls, or ceilings to what God can do through you when you choose you. And so we got to heal our minds in order to heal our bodies, in order to heal our circumstances, in order to heal our trauma, in order to heal our past, right? I pledge to embrace who I am today, love who I was yesterday, and inspire who I will become tomorrow. That means I got to come out of the past in order to be present to get to the future, because God don't let you jump over nothing. And so you may see where you want to go, but if you don't come out of where you just came from, then you can never be present, therefore never becoming a gift to move forward in your mission, your movement, your purpose. So purpose just means intention. And since God had intention when he created you, he knew you before he formed you in your mother's womb. God said that you have to be the intention of him. So that's the work that we have to do. What? Oh, did you put that brown on it? Oh, it's just like a little glaze. You can't really tell. It's just like it's just like a cute bronze glaze. So yeah.
Got sparkles in it too. I was like, oh.
Good morning, Queen Jam. How are you, beautiful? Good morning to you. The birds are chirping. Ooh, 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 ooh. And I know some of you guys are saying, oh my God, I don't live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I cannot come and see the ministry on Sunday because, honey, I'm about to be on fire. I feel it shut up in my bones. But what I will say is that She, Me, Her will also be live. And so I will not leave you out. As God is speaking through me, to me, and I am showing up, I will give you the opportunity to be on part. So I will have my phone out there, and I will be logged in out there, and I will be on sharing what God has placed in me to share. So just because you're not in you're not in the Queen City doesn't mean you're gonna miss one of the queens talking, okay? Queens in the building, okay?
She said, I'm doing pretty good. I know that's right.
That part.
That is wonderful.
How is your Friyay? What's going on? It's Friyay.
Hot topics, y'all. What y'all want to talk about? What's going on?
I mean, what's going on in the world? How about the submarine that got
That's what I was thinking too. But what's going on with that? I was cooking.
I mean, I think they're saying it's running out of oxygen or it's over by now. But thank God for these amazing phones that we have, because we can look up what is going on with the submarine fiasco.
So some people died or whatever. Some people died.
No, they just saying that they went on
some people
Titanic submarine up to 5 men, including Sue Mandel, confirmed dead, as James Cameron says. Yeah. That was 43 minutes ago.
Yeah, they died.
Missing Titanic sub crew killed after cat. Oh, it wasn't an implosion. They were saying that they just fell off the thing, so it did blow up. Points to floors in 3 hours ago. Wow. So I guess it was a couple of people on there, a billionaire.
So it was like the Titanic.
They paid $250,000. They was going down, I guess, to see the Titanic. I don't know what they was going to say.
I don't know either.
I'm telling you, people running out of stuff to do. Titanic sub missing update. So yeah, crazy. 5 men including. Wow. That's one trip. We glad they didn't let the women go, huh?
Wow.
My God, crazy
experience.
That is. Listen, what's go like you? I just don't even know. I don't even want to watch the news. I don't even like to watch the news. And no, see, I'm not the water person. So submarines or that would never be my thing, honey. I'm sorry.
I haven't even been on a cruise yet, so you know.
I mean, I just can't.
I need to get on.
No, and I just can't get with knowing that I'm submerged on the water and I'm gonna trust. Like, you know, the pressure of water. Like, I just can't.
That water get my face in the shower. I'm like,
I have yet to learn how to swim.
Girl, I panics.
Yeah, so I'm just saying. Let me do some sharing on here and see what kind of topics. What else is going on other than that?
Oh no.
Oh man. As a soul doctor, one of the topics that has been touching my soul is watching the daughters of Russell Simmons, right? Really the oldest one been going live.
Oh.
You know, having a little meltdown because of, you know, just life. And I just want to say, when they say the love of money is the root to all evil, it's like when you think about the importance that people put on money, right? That you would just destroy or be irate or be so insensitive to, you know, your offspring, your babies, you know, put them in the middle of you and their mama drama. Like, I mean, it's just ridiculous. So I'm just like, we had a state of emergency. Back to that point.
And you know, it's crazy because it just seems like when they start getting money, it defines them. Because I
so people respect them different now.
I kind of see that a little bit. It's like, because if you lost your money, you feel like you might as well be gone out of here,
right?
Because you can't fathom, even if you was broke before and now that you got money or whatever, and you lived this life and this is how it is for you, you can't imagine being back to zero. Like, it's like, I might as well not be here because I ain't living.
It definitely does.
It's like money starts defining you. So when you starting to attack me, you threatening my money. And I can't live like that. So it's like, I don't care who you is, you become, because my money is more important to me now than who you are to me, because you ain't nobody to me, because my money is more important to me than you now. So it becomes like, it's like, but if you not really in that, you don't have the money like that, or it's not your mind ain't even thinking like that. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, I'm like, yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. And then you start treating people different. Because it's like, all right, when you get low and you ain't gonna have nobody because you put so much.
Come on now, because the money cannot. It cannot take care of you. It cannot love you. It cannot mean it when they show up when you are going through. It can't wipe your
butt when you can't.
I'm telling you.
It's a person that's going to do that. What you say, Jim? When you don't have enough, money does cause many issues.
Absolutely.
Yes, it does. And she also says when you don't have enough, makes it depressing trying to get more money too.
Yeah, so
it does.
Right.
Because you know what it took to get it. So it's trying to maintain it. And now you're talking about losing it and getting it back.
Because you know what? Because what money is freedom, right? It's the freedom to be able to choose the moments, right? Choose any moment. You know what I mean? Even just think about something as detrimental as a loss of a loved one, right? If you don't have a savings, people die unexpectedly every day just to buy a plane ticket to go visit them. So money is so essential. So the value on it is precious, right? But the need for it, right? Like, you know, that need, right? Where you turn that need from need to greed. Because just remember, what is enough, right? Then now I need a bigger house. I need a nicer car. Now I need to look better, to feel better. When you had little, you felt better. You had family time. You had you sat down and ate. You had to figure out how to learn to do stuff. So I said, I found out people with money, it's like you have to learn how to, it's hard for you to actually develop with money because you're not challenged, right? Because anything that you need, you can pay for. And when you don't have it, what people miss, it gives you the tenacity, it gives you the credibility, and it builds your actual resume, right? So because I didn't have the money all this time to do a lot of stuff, I literally had to learn hands-on. I had to learn how to do my first book. And I'm talking back in 2007, right? You had to figure that out. Now, of course, it's going to cost money to buy the books. I had to, do all that other stuff. But you couldn't just put it in somebody else's hands, right? Because God is developing you. And sometimes we want the money and we like, God, you own everything. Why don't you just give me the money? He's like, because I'm developing you. Mm-hmm. Because if I give you the money before I develop you and you understanding what your mission, what your purpose, and what you came to do, then you will abort the mission, right? And so remember, I'm giving you permission, meaning per mission, everybody has their own assignment that's locked up in them. And so sometimes your assignment, he needs to pull that message, that age. He has to develop you. You have to go through that dark room. You have to experience those things in order to now have a blueprint to be able to help somebody. Because if you're going to guide somebody else through what you've been through, that means you have an internal blueprint of what it took, what it required for you to actually push past, right? Because the difference between being the example or wisdom, right? Because wisdom, you're learning from other people's examples. It's like you can sit back and apply, right? You have a sense of empathy that allows it to hit deep where you can kind of relate. And so I think that is so true. When you don't have enough money, it can be so depressing because now you're questioning your value. You're questioning, your worth, because you're going to associate value to money, right? But at the end of the day, your value is who you are. The money is what you're willing to take in exchange for your time, right? And so it's like who I am is priceless. But what I can do is by what it costs me to live, I can make a educated decision of what I'm willing to divide myself up into to make myself available to you to live the lifestyle that I created because of what I do, right? So it all begets another. That's why I'm like, I choose me is about getting in relationship with yourself so that you chase the dream and not the money. And then the money ends up chasing you because you become it. Like it's effortless. It is who you are. You don't have to prepare for what's already designed. And so it gives you into a better relationship in order to be confident enough to show up in your destiny, in order to be confident to show up in the times when you don't have the money, so that when you get the money, you don't lose sight of God's purpose for you, the intention for you. So I want you to be comfortable as you're giving. I want you to be comfortable as you're doing, but I needed to make you have to struggle for a little bit so that you can get closer to me and understand your destiny, so that when you get in position, you don't frolic it away. You don't waste it away. You don't miss the grace on the space. And so I think that's why people say, I'm glad I don't look like my story, because you don't know what it cost me to be an example to you, to be the evidence to you. It cost me getting up. It cost me getting over. It cost me trusting again. It cost me forgiving myself in order to forgive somebody else, so that I don't change who I am, right? Because that's why you forgive yourself first. Because if you don't, you'll end up changing who you are when you get into a relationship with somebody else. Why? Because you're like, oh, you ain't gonna do like they did me. And so now I became a whole new person, which I wasn't designed to be, because I took that last test personal instead of just studying to show myself approved better the next time. I made it about me, right? And I made it about the world. So ain't nobody else gonna hurt me. But if you don't open your hand, can't nothing get in, just like can't nothing go out. And so it's like, ooh, it is a process though.
It's a process. And she said it feels like, Queen Jim said, money feel like a one-sided relationship. It's a one-sided relationship. That's how I be feeling sometimes.
Because it's energy. It's energy. And so what money is a revolving door.
At that point.
When you understand that it goes in and goes out just as fast, you realize that money is just energy. It's currency. They call it currency. And what is currency? Currency is a flow of water, right? So if money is currency, is how you're moving out here.
You could get it back again, but a person, you can't get that person back. You can't get that person back. Once that person is gone, that's it. But money can come, money can go. Once money leave, you could get it back.
Yeah. And the person that we're talking about is you, right? Because you don't get you back if you forfeit your integrity for money, right? You don't get you back. You have to live with that part of yourself every single day. And so that's the hard thing about money, right? Because we need it so much. But the idea is to not need it more than you need purpose, to not need it more than you need direction, to not need it more than you need to be an example, right? And so you have to be intentional about what currency is around your money relationship or your money conversation. And so sometimes the current can be smooth. Sometimes the current can be rough. Sometimes the current can be mellow, right? Sometimes the current can be a tsunami where now you're drowning in debt because you have wrong energy around the currency because I want more than I am creating, right? God said you are a creator.
I want more than I even have.
Right. So, right, I'm a creator.
And then with the currency, the money could, like you said, it moves. It comes in, it comes out, it moves.
Yeah.
So it can bring people in your life. It could move people out your life.
Come on
the
now.
Money will move throughout your whole life. It will bring sometimes the wrong people in, and you will push the wrong people out.
Yes, that's good.
So, when we talking about, we were talking about the Russell Simmons and their relationship or whatever. I don't really know what's going on, but I remember you did send me the video of the girl saying,
it's really about the money and him feeling like,
people got this image that they don't want you to expose
Yep.
your side of what's going on, so they won't look bad because they trying to hold up this persona of what they want everybody to see them as. But when the real stuff come out of what's really going on, you get threatened, you get, and it's like, wow, I'm breaking because I can no longer, I've been quiet for so long, and it's been going on for years, and I haven't never said anything, just on the strength of my parents being my parents, and I don't want nobody to look bad, but I have a voice as well, and y'all don't understand how it's affecting me, and so now it's like, since you acting like that, then no, I no longer feel, you're not respecting me. Like, I don't matter. So you know what? I need to let my voice out. I need to be heard. Right? Because I've been holding it in for all this time. So now people gonna see who you really is from my perspective. What I've been dealing with. Yeah. So you ain't want it to come out. But you know what? You ain't acting like you don't. Cause you I'm a bust and I'm bust. I done popped. The balloon has popped. It done swelled up as much as it could swell, and it has burst. So here we go. So now all your threats and all your whatever, bring them on. So what Queen Jim says, check out my new blog post, Why God Gave Us Fingerprints. I'm interested in seeing that. Trendsetters.com.
Why God gave us fingertips. I like that.
Trendsetters.com and check out Queen Jim's new blog post. Why did God give us fingerprints?
No, I said because you're one of a kind.
Come on now.
I love the fingerprint.
Come on, why did he give us all fingerprints, right?
To identify yourself, to individualize.
Each of us.
That's why I said the fingerprint tells us what we got wrong in this world, but the soul print, oh my God, it tells us what we got right. And the soul print is just how you changed it, like what you did with what you went through, right? That bad situation, right? And so the fingerprint, something went wrong, right? Because that's when the fingerprint comes in play. We need to make sure everything is okay or something, right? I had to identify, right?
Who
Who, what, when, and why. But that soul print, right? It's like how you got up. It's how you go from survivor to soulvivor, right? After the story, after the getting up, after the going through, after, what happens after, right? Because he died and he resurrected after the death, right? And so it's like, don't get stuck in what you've been through, right? It's not what you go through, it's what you grow through that makes you who you are. So we got to get out of that after. So we all got to make sure we go ahead and tap into that and find out why God gave us fingerprints. I can't wait to find out about that.
Now, read that blog. She says, I cringe at the things people do for likes, attention, and stars these days and that social media. It's embarrassing as a whole. We need more influencers with positive impact, starting with me.
Come on now. That part.
Me.
If
we all said starting with me,
yes,
then it will change because everybody takes accountability for what they're doing to get those likes, get attention and stars.
Yeah.
That I love it, Queen Jim. Yes.
Use your power for good.
Everybody point to themselves and say, me. How can I change and do something
different?
Because it's not about other people. Other people is you.
It's you.
Because you are other people to somebody.
Right? It's a relay race. And somebody is relying on you.
It's me. I love it. Right. We got to start taking accountability for us.
Yes.
And that's when things will change. When everybody start looking at them and how they can do better, because nobody else can really make you do better. You got to see that, like you said, it starts with you first. I choose me.
I choose me. Hashtag, and that's why it's hashtag no more excuses. Because the excuses is what he, they did, right? The excuse is the but, right? That but, that instead of, right? And so, however, right? And I say it's not in spite of, it's because of. Because I went through that, I am who I am. Because I experienced that situation, I can speak the way I speak. Because I went through that ordeal, I'm able to know my strength. Because how do I know how strong I am if I never have to lift anything? And so sometimes you got to lift up those problems so that you cannot become intimidated every time something unexpected happens, because you have the reminder of yesterday, right? The proof of what you survived, right? And that's why I say it's got to be a soulvivor. It got to come in your head, because until you think it different, you'll still be in fear mode about what you already conquered. You are victorious, and now you still speak from the victim. How were you a victim and you made it, right? Victims don't make it. Victors make it
anymore.
You know what I'm saying?
You came through it.
You're
not in it anymore. So you gotta be speaking not from a victim standpoint, but from a victor standpoint.
Oh, good morning, Ortha. Good morning to you. It's Hot Topics. We were talking about the submarine. Now we're talking about money, and just thank God Queen Jem took us to a good angle to speak about it when we was talking about what's the guy name? Russell Simmons and what he's going through with his girls, and how, money is, it's at the root to so many problems, right? It is the source to people's depression, to people's need, right? People are depressed with too much money, right? They kill themselves, right? And so that's why I said it's a currency, is the energy of people like that you bring around, like he said, that can flow into that currency. And so because you are depressed because you don't have money and people can take their lives, you are depressed and you have billions of dollars and people can take their own lives, because it's still what you're lacking. And the problem is, God said that he will make us abundant. We will overflow, but we sit in the lack stage. And that is the lack of gratitude and gratefulness. And so when you are depressed because of what you don't have, that means you haven't spent enough time celebrating what you do have. Because first of all, as long as you can breathe, you got an opportunity to change your tomorrow, right? Until it's over, it's not over. But just think about that. That lacking is what puts us in those situations. And so the person with money lacks real intimacy because they never know if people really love them for them or what they can do for them, right? The person without money lacks real intimacy because they feel like I can't get in the rooms. I can't afford, I'm not in the vibration that I want to be in because I'm always worried, right? Because both people are lacking trust. They are lacking faith. Freedom after insight to higher self. They are living in the wrong F, right? In both of those situations, whether you have money or you don't have money, it is fear. It is the fear of the unknown. It is the fear, is somebody else going to hurt me? It is the fear, am I going to get put out of this house? It's the fear, am I going to be able to pay for my children to go to school? It is the fear, am I going to be able to find a husband or a wife when I'm so well off where they see me for me? It's the fear of knowing that people are going to take advantage of you just because of what you have. Do they even see who you are anymore, right? And so both of those are fear-based. Lack is fear-based tendency. That's why I said God is a vibe and faith is his vibration and fear will be his deceleration. So when you are in fear of any magnitude, whether you're at the top or at the bottom, you know what that turns down to be? It turns out to be your lack. Fear is a lack of confidence, a lack of stability, a lack of belief, a lack of faith. You know, a long constant reminder of doubt is what fear is. And so when you're doubting, you're not doing, which means you are now becoming a part of paralyzation, let's say.
Doubting and get to doing.
Yeah, because if you doubt and you ain't doing.
Don't doubt, do.
Don't doubt, do.
Don't doubt, do.
I will be the change. Come on now.
Jim. She said it starts with me and I will be the change. Mm-hmm. I am loving this. Come on now, queen. Amen. Amen. Good morning, Miss Sanders.
Good morning to you. You have a blessed day as well.
What you saying? What the hell?
We're about to see right now.
well, 250,000 will get you a one-way trip to the ocean. Do you know what I could invest with 250,000?
Yeah, and that's again from the perspective, right? A billionaire, 250,000 is like wiping his behind.
It's like $25.
Yeah, it's nothing to him. It's all from where perspective is everything. So it's all from where you're standing. You know what I mean? And so sometimes people are standing, they're making $100,000 a year, and they are so like our grandparents, and we all was over there, and they were not making 6 figures a year, but it was so much joy there. Yeah. It was so much happiness there, especially by the time we got out, when they got used to
and it's like
putting two lives at once.
And the land and the house, you don't know that stuff. Like you would think, I don't know.
Yeah.
Them books really look
now, God, I know what we could do with $250,000. Lord, I mean, we'd be having all kind of, oh, Lord have mercy. I mean, that part. So I can relate, Arthur L, when you are thinking about what, if it was what I would do, right? But then the person who has done it all, gonna get on a submarine. Because everybody still, once you get a dream, you go into the next one. Now you need more. That's why it's like maybe if we just appreciate what's worth appreciating, which is leaving that soul print in the world and taking as many opportunities to have conversation with people, because those are the things that do not die, right? Because that guy's going and that billions of dollars in here and this is it, but I want to know what kind of relationships did he have? What information did he leave behind to make 10 more billionaires? Because what is it for you to have all of that and not give it? God says give to receive. And so the intellectual property is just as powerful.
Now I see what she's saying. So I'm reading y'all comments.
When
but
we
she's
feel
saying,
like we slack.
No, the 5 guys, I'm going all the way down, but I'm skipping. We coming back. She's saying, no, the 5 guys, she's trying to be funny. No, the 5 guys that died going to see the Titanic. She's saying, well, $250,000 will get you a one-way trip to the ocean.
Yeah.
I can't with you on the air. I'm like over here like, oh God, she's so crazy. So, yeah.
Because she said, well, 250 will get you a one-way trip to the ocean. Do you know, what I could invest with $250K?
You go to the ocean, all right. One way.
And it's symbolism in the Titanic, honey, because only one person made it out of that one. Like you said, it's just when you have too much money.
That is.
You just be doing all kind of stuff.
Girl, Queen Jim, I can't. She talking about when we feel lack, we slack.
When we feel lack,
we slack.
Yeah. Because it's an energy. That's why I said lack is fear, and it's low vibrational, right?
You do be
and
slackish,
so you're gonna be slackish because you don't feel excited, right?
It's heavy on you. Lack is heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy. Yeah, because just thinking when they say lacking, it means you're dragging. You're lagging, you're dragging.
Lacking over here.
Yeah, so to lack is to be without. So yeah, to be without really means that you're off balance. So it would give you a sense of sadness. You know what I'm saying? But honey, when that money start coming in, you get excited. You pump. Now you got a pep, right? Now you crunk. So
you got a pep in your step.
You got to work through it all, though.
That part.
Getting comfortable with slack makes a negative impact nationally. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can't get comfortable with that slack, honey. It's like a rut. You got to get out there.
You got to get out of that.
You got to get out of it because it will drag you sink you into the dark hole. Yeah. You got to definitely get out of that because it's going to have an impact. Yeah. Yeah. With everything you encounter, honey, because your energy just ain't right. It's slack. Your energy. Slack.
That's why it really matters who you are around and how you spend your time, because that definitely feeds that whole idea of being slack and having lack and all those other things. Because at the end of the day, that negativity is what pulls us down, what makes us feel like life ain't happening.
Yeah. And you be so negative and you got to get out of that.
That part. Arthur L says, I'm going to appreciate $250K on land. Thank you. That part. But to each his own, honey. I'm sure that wasn't the first time a boat went down the Titanic. It's just the first time it never came back. See? So that's why I said, they say my dog don't bite until he bite me. And then it's a story of it's the first time. So But some people are, listen, if you on a Titanic, you done everything now. So I guess you ready. If they tell you, or they got to tell you all the warnings, it's like them going to get them surgeries. They say when you sign this paperwork, there's a risk. So some people are willing to take the risk, right? And so when you have lived to the point that you have lived and you think certain things are worth the risk, hey. Good morning.
Good morning. Morning. Glory, joy, and etc. Good morning, Queen. Good morning.
Watching the hashtag recap.
All right now.
Good morning to you. The birds are chirping. I love morning glory and joy and etc. You better put it out there.
Coming, honey.
Let them know, honey. Morning glory got to have energy, right? She got to be feeling like, listen, lack who? I don't lack nothing but information. That's what I lack, information. So if I want more money, I need to get more information. That's why I say every time I pray to God, like, Lord, open up a door. I need this money. He give me a new freaking idea. I'm just telling you. So there is I know that he operates in thoughts, right? Right.
He's like, there you go.
Don't no money drop. That's what he gave me another idea. I'm like, God don't mind it. And I gotta stop asking, because every time I ask, I'm on a new project, ain't finished the last project, and they be laughing because I say I got dream ADD, and that's because I'm like, God, you just gotta send me something. He said, okay, so that all right here. But because remember, we think it, and then so shall we do. So your thoughts have become, and so it's like, if you want something, you gotta think something in order to do something, in order to get something. Remember, if you want something, you gotta think something in order to do something, in order to get something, in that order. So anytime you think about it, so if you like morning glory and joy, baby, in that order,
in that order,
in that order. Girl, you crazy. Okay, what is up?
But a lot of times, come on, what the L? But a lot of times we get the money and don't know what to do with it. We don't save. We don't invest. Yeah. We don't make it roll over to grow. We don't walk. We don't walk. Where there is no knowledge, the people will perish. Come on, give me the idea of what to do with this money, honey, so it can multiply itself.
But the thing is, God gave you the idea when he gave you the dream. When he inspired you for the money, I promise you it was attached to a thought. It came with a thought. Now, because you may not believe in a thought yet, right? Because you don't see it the way he see it, because you just don't understand how to get there, because now it requires faith. That freedom after insight to higher self. That's why he said, write the vision and make it plain. So when you see somebody with a vision board and it's like, oh my God, I want a house. I do vision board parties for the second step of that, because after you bring your boards with you so that we can make actual plans to go with everything on your board. So if you show me a house, then let's do a 12-month plan for you to save a certain amount. Put this over here. Get an action for the house. If you want the car, what car do you want? Do the homework. How much is it going to cost you? How many hours are you going to have to do? How many more things you're going to have to start buy in your company, or how many things you're going to have to sell if you're an entrepreneur. So you got to actually reverse engineer your dreams. So if you want these things, God said, okay, I gave you the thought because I inspired you with thought. Guess what you're going to do? You're going to get an action for your attraction. That means what your next step is going to be is now you're going to be inspired to figure it out with that vision, with that thing that I gave you. So that's what life is all about, is really knowing that knowledge, if you take heed to the knowledge and you trust what God has planted in you, you can grow it, you can nurture it, and it can become that dream. It can become the apple tree that was just a seed, right? So as in 365 days of loving yourself to life, it goes to the journey of saying, like, just imagine that you are a seed and God is the gardener, but he just dropped you into the earth, and the world is waiting to see what will you become. Are you going to be an apple tree? Are you going to be an orange tree? Are you going to be, who will you become now that you have been planted? So you're going through the developmental stages, right? Because earth is dirty. So earth is the dirt. You are the seed. Mold me and make me after thine way. That's what we say. So he said, I've dropped you. So now let them see who you are. So that's why I say you have to garden yourself accordingly. You have to do that work. Like, garden your mindset. Take those seeds of doubt out. Put the seeds of that you want. When you see something growing up that you don't want, just like a good gardener, you want to get that out of your garden. You don't want to choke the roses. You don't want that cactus plant over there. You can build it, but you got to go to the root. Sometimes we cut stuff down. I learned growing up, my mama had a yard, and she'd be like, listen, y'all all go out there in that front. I need y'all to pull them roots up. And if you cut it, she'd be like, oh no, you can't cut it because we're trying to get slit. And next thing you know, that thing grow back up. Because if you don't pull it down from the bottom out, that's why forgiveness is so important, because that's getting it from the roots. Until I forgive myself, I'm not really getting it from the roots. Until I take ownership. See, ownership means anything you own, you can get rid of, sell, destroy. But you must own it first. So the reason why a lot of stuff you ain't been able to get past in your selfishness as you were fishing for self is because you haven't owned your stuff. When you own your stuff, you can now destroy it. You can sell it. You can get rid of it. But I must take on. I can't sell your stuff. I can only sell my stuff. So I have to own my stuff first in order to then decide where does it do. Do I want to do a yard sale with that? Do I just want to throw it away? Do I want to put it in the trash? What do I want to do with what I found and I don't want it no more? It no longer serves the new house, right? And so when you get a new house, you want new furniture. Why is it that we get a new mindset, but we want to put the old messed up stuff in it? You won't put no old stuff in your new house. Well, you a new house if God said you renewing your mind every day. So how are you furnishing your stuff? How will you get rid of the stuff that no longer serves you, that are out of, what they say, out of, what's the word? Out of season, right? Out of, yeah, that's the word, but it's another word too. You're out of, what are you out of?
Time?
Yeah, you out of... out of style.
Oh, okay.
You know, when stuff go, because now you got, I got retro, I got this. That done went out of style. So that thinking, that thinking done went out of style now. You already done seen how it go. That thinking is out of style now. So now it looking like you in a old place, right? It's not, you ain't even take care. You still got plastic on your couch. Oh, that's out of style. That's out of style, right? And so it's like, you got to be able to change, right? Transform with the renewing of thy mind. You got to be able to do that. So your thoughts is out of style. Right? That's why these kids you can't even reach the new generation. They out here buck wild because your thoughts is out of style. You forgot who you was. See, if you was transparent, you sit them down and say, listen, your daddy was a pimp and your mama was a hoe. Okay? Keep it real with the kids. Let them know. Or say, listen, I went through this type of stuff. So that's why I tell you, don't put yourself out there like that, right? Because maybe I got what's the word? Maybe something bad happened to me only because I was maybe acting a certain way, dressing. I put myself in a situation, right? Be honest about the mistakes that you made so that people can actually pay better attention to their surroundings so we're not reliving the same over and over situation. So it's really about that transparency and being honest with how we moving and how we living.
Wait, what's going on, Queen Jim?
I wish they were black.
She is saying something serious. She like, wait a minute, what's going on with these social media people, girl?
Like some of these slackers on social media, the energy can
drain and train the slackers. What's going on with these girl? You want to talk about it because you've been talking about that today.
Drain and train the slackers to think that's how we get by.
What they doing, girl?
Set boundaries. Yeah, but you know what they think they doing? I think she's talking about, because it is a two-way street, but that's why I say the internet is like God. It's omnipresent. It's
what
whoever
people are posting.
It's whoever you show up. Yeah, because they will drain. She said they will block some of the slackers from social media. The energy can drain and train the slackers to think that either life is easy, either they moving like, ain't doing nothing. But I think that's just in a world that we live in, period, right? The internet is only exposing the different things that goes on and how people really are, because we could tell that by our lives and how stuff that many of us are slackers. Many of us are slackers because if we hired ourselves and went to work as if we do for a check,
for the people,
right? How many people can honestly say I clocked into me 40 hours this week? Now you get 720 hours every month. And 40 hours a week is 4, 8, 12, 160 hours out of the 720. You're saying that you give to somebody else, and out of that 720, what do you give to yourself? Even if you're in business for yourself, how are you actually clocking into you as in all the other parts of yourself? So I just think it's the world that we live in now is just hard to really stay afloat with this digital energy.
Yeah.
Because it could work for you, against you, but that's anything. Anything you apply.
Depends on you and your mental mindset too, because don't believe the hype. What public enemy?
Don't believe the hype. Oh, that's a public enemy CD.
Why have me in here?
Don't believe the hype. Man, yeah, that's it.
We was in here, Flavor. Yes.
Hello, was lit yesterday.
With that damn thing. I said, what's that from Amazon? I said, oh Lord, don't believe the hype. Yeah.
Listen.
Trust me.
Listen.
Every business owner know, and entrepreneur know how hard it is. We were just talking about that. You might work 9 to 5 and you go home and don't worry about it till the next day. But as an entrepreneur, honey,
think about it all day.
You work 24 hours a day until you get to a point of automation, systematic, growing it into a business where other people are now in place to help keep your business afloat, maintaining it and growing it. Yeah. So, I mean, right, these social media slackers don't believe the hype. Like you don't want to look bad on social media. You won't want to look like it ain't like that on social media. But you do have those who give it to you real, and it's just that's what you gotta, I just try to stay focused and positive because you will get wild on that social media, honey.
Well, and then that's how some people do it, right? Because it's amazing. I can go on and watch people doing nothing and they have thousands and thousands of followers. So unless you mean by psyching, but then listen, they are being who they are.
Day, followers and all of that need to equivalent to this. I could have 1,000 and something, but if it ain't equating this, I could get
but you know what I think too, though? I think that is good as well because once again, we talked about what is value, right? And I think the most important value for people is now for you,
depending on the person.
So for you who used to being around people or being accepted and being loved, then value for you would just be in making more money. For somebody who don't normally have a million people by them, and so they work their bones to the grave because they don't spend no time with nobody. They don't do none of that because they don't have that outlet. They don't have that group of friends. They don't have that person now. They don't have that feeling. And so for them, there's value in the numbers just sitting and eating dinner with me. I'm sitting here eating, y'all watching me eat because this is the most. So for me, is understanding that money doesn't equal value. It's what you're lacking. Once again, is what you're lacking. And so even the slacker may be lacking that inspiration. Where the slacker is lacking. Right. The slacker is probably lacking that that true thing to feel worthy, right? Because you do feel worthy from how people treat you and how they talk to you and how they're very lonely. And that's what I loved about it online, because it allows you to at least create a family within yourself if you need to. And if God sees fit, he will send you people because he knows you need that inspiration. And yeah, you got your trolls, but life has its trolls, honey. You got to get over a lot of bridges. That's why it's a troll, because I got to get over this thing, and I'm trying to get over this thing, and you over here talking, and I'm trying to get over this water because I'm getting through. I'm trying to get over. And so we call you a troll because you stopping me from crossing the bridge to get from this side. From this side, you're trying to block me when I'm trying to go. So when you think about it, it's like even the slacker is probably in need of encouragement so that they can get up. Because once you push them, because they've never been pushed before, it now sets up a standard in which now they're inspired to keep on doing more. So that slacker then starts a business, and that business then starts to sell out, and then they start getting their confidence because I came to you as I was. And that's what I Choose Me is all about. It's saying I'm enough. I don't got to get my face done. I don't got to get my teeth done. I don't got to get my boobs done. I don't got to do all that to show up. I am enough.
Some people feel like they don't. Some people feel like they do.
Yeah.
And you just got to make sure you understand which one of you.
And the unfortunate thing is that we judge the people that don't do it the way we do it.
Correct.
Because we got a certain expectation, different fingerprint. Like Queen Jem said. So you may not do it for me, and you might get over on that. But I mean, that's why everybody has to study to show themselves approved. Do what God told you to do, because maybe they doing what God told them to do. So they're being blessed because they're on assignment too. And you'll be blessed because God have an expectation due to what he placed in you, what you're qualified for. And so maybe some people are qualified to slack. Maybe some people are qualified to, they're going to be the inspiration to go the extra mile. But I really, really, really believe that the slacker is just a lack of energy, because the slacker is just a lacker who don't actually know the value outside of what they are missing. Because remember, that gratitude is just being grateful for where you are and what you have. And I think that even in that part, it's like, you at least you showing up to the camera, right? These are things that everybody can do, and it's not easy for everybody.
Pushing yourself to do some stuff.
Yeah. So I think a lot of confidence is being built in people not being able, because when you go live, you're really looking at yourself.
That part.
Right. So that's why I was like, when I first started I Choose Me in 2016 online, it's like, I'm really looking at myself. I had to get used to looking at myself in the mirror. So when I'm talking to you, I'm really talking to myself. Like when we don't see y'all, we see us as a reflection when we are speaking. So maybe that gives you the intention to know, what are you speaking to yourself? What are you saying, right? And so until I can get used to looking at myself in the mirror, listening to myself speak, feeling moved by what I'm saying, then nobody else is going to get on board with it. But there are people that will understand you, which is how you command an audience, because when you relate to them, right, a relationship is relating so the ship can move and you're no longer anchored in your understanding. So I realized, wow, why are people watching them? So 10K people want to be courageous enough to go live just as they are and be in their real element, right? I mean, so it's a confidence to say it. My value is not rooted in your expectation. This is my life. And if I'm living this life day to day and I don't feel confident enough to show up in it, then I'm not ready to look at myself and embrace who I am today in order to move forward. So it is a process, but I think God knows we are built for the ride, as I said. You are built for the ride.
Good morning, Aunt Faye. She said,
good morning to you.
The birds are chirping. Mm-hmm. It ain't raining this morning, but was it?
Not yet. No. It was really good. Okay. She said parts of the body have different functions, but together keep the body going. Major organs aren't seen. That part.
Correct.
That part.
They just see what they physically see on the outside, but the major organs is what's allowing you to do what you're doing. That part. Queen Jim says confidence is good, but being an influencer can put you in charge of what you're producing to God's people.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
That's it. But the thing is, people, that's the part. Because
at the end of the
people
day,
make you we all. That's what I'm about to say. Everybody's an influencer. It's just what you're putting out.
Level of
but I want you to understand that what happens is they're producing people that are like them. That's why I said people with the light must show up so that you can inspire even an influencer that are negative, right? Because let's look at China. All that time she had already had an audience. So God had already let her draw them in with the part that was familiar to them. Whether they're church, whether who you are, you might be hiding behind your real self, right? And you give the representative even online. So what God, even China, let China do was show up as she was first. She pulled in millions of people with that energy, right? Because there were so many people that had to do what they had to do. That had to relate to her, that wanted that life. Look at everybody getting their bodies done and all that. It's not influence. It's a desire from within that people are showing up on and people are celebrating because they wish they had the courage or they feel insecure about their stomach, their body. There are reasons why people are drawn to influencers, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. And it ain't about the spotlight. It's about somebody feeling like, that's me. Now, he let her have all those people. And this is what God will do. If you read the Bible, you'll see that he'll take somebody that was a whore and turn them into a housewife. He'll take somebody that's what transformation, that's what change looks like. And so what he did is he let them pull them as they are, who she was. And then he let us watch him change her right before our eyes like magic, so that you could be all of that and you could follow me on that platform, and right before you I become a new creature, right? I gave my life to Jesus and he gave a brand new life to me. That is what salvation looks like. It looks like I know where I came from, but maybe you can influence the influencer, right? To then change, because now they got all eyes on them, because the world we live in is real. The reason why they're influencing at that level, because that is the world that's around us outside of the internet. And the thing is, the internet is magnifying what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, what we are liking on a day-to-day basis, what we are wanting to be internally on a day-to-day basis. And so that's the internal fight. That is why Jesus was going all around the world to heal people, because he understood there was a healing that had to take place, because people were stuck in their old mindset, in their old pain, or in the life, because they didn't think that they were worthy enough to trade it in for God's glory, right? You thought it was unattainable. And so I think that having those influencers, even who are not producing, it's like, no, God is touching everybody. And right now it looks like that. Right? Right now it looks like that, but everybody started somewhere. And so maybe the people who are in God's grace can show favor and grace to them, because you can say, you know what? I remember when I didn't have it together. And though my problems didn't look like your problems, I had to get up from something too. I had to let go of something too. I had to get in a relationship too. And so I think that that's the reason why you're seeing so much, because it's real. And in real life, people are trying to pretend. I used to hate to go to church and people be acting like all sanctified here, that when they leave, they heathens. There's no love in their heart. They jumping and churching, but they fussing and cussing, and there's no love, right? So that's the world we really live in. And maybe the internet is magnifying that, but it's true. It ain't no lie. And so maybe God has to allow you to be influenced by whatever you're influencing, where everybody still has a right to be an influencer. And so maybe we should question why those, no, it's just that people are watching them. Yeah. It's the people, your numbers make your influence, period. So because if I didn't get up there, and that's the thing, people will be quicker to share negativity than positivity, because hurt people, and they like to see that they're not the only ones going through pain.
People,
being following you, yes,
and now all of a sudden you're considered an
influencer because of the people that are inspired by you, who are connected to you, who become your tribe. So now your numbers represent the people who are watching you. And so we can't call it the internet problem. We got to call it our parents who raise the kids. Why are they inspired by that? What are they seeing at home? Why does it have more power? Maybe because the influencers were more real than you were. Maybe because you didn't sit your kids down and was transparent, so they think that they got the answer because they relate to me, because they understand me, because this is what I'm fighting with. These are my insecurities. It takes an honesty for you to show up in that, and many people don't. And so those people that are organic, authentic, God is always going to pull people into them, because it's your trueness, right? It's your story. And that's what moves mountains, the evidence of who you become after you release your story, right? When you're age, you can have a message. So I just feel like the examples of influencers that anytime, because God already got their eyes on you, he could send somebody and shift everything at one time. And it starts and it can float all the way down, because everybody already got their people who are already trusting and believing in them. And so when he flipped the script, now those people already are sunk into you, and they're so connected to your story, and they're so relatable that they say, oh my God, well, God can do the same thing for me that he did for you, because you were honest. And I know you went short. I know you felt insecure. I know you was molested. I know you got raped. I know you was homeless. I know you was abandoned. I know all those things about you. Do you notice those are the numbers that go faster up when people are exposing their daggone testimonies and their stories?
Sarah Jakes.
Sarah Jakes, she tell a story. I was 13. I was a bottle girl. Come on now.
Follow who you are,
because she's real.
You blow up because of you're authentic, and you blowing up in your truth, because this is really how people are, and it's like me too, or I can relate, or you know them people that be rapping, and the rappers and the people, and they be in the limelight, and they be having all these nice cars, because people really want that. So you're gonna have all eyes on you, and now you just a regular person who life has changed for you, and now you're in the limelight, and now you're considered an influencer, but you're just going and following me in the day of the life of me, from me going from nothing to having something, and the way I spend my money, because now I can buy whatever the freak I want.
That I couldn't yesterday, and you saw me when I was broke, right? So God,
I'm not saying it's easy. You see how I got my money.
Come on now.
You see what I'm doing. You see how I'm getting the things I'm getting. So I'm influencing you. But the question is, are you going to do the things I do? Are you going to go through the things I'm going through, because you're following me, so you clearly can see everything. My life is an open book. You going through the goods, the bads, the ugly with me as an influencer. So people take what they want to take, and they don't take. It's like you pick and choose what you take and what you don't take. But it's a whole open book for influencers. Sometimes you don't. Just depends on what you really what they put out there, right? But for the most part, for an influencer,
they put it all out there.
They put it all out there.
And I'm gonna be honest. Even in my life growing up, there are some people who are more. There are people who are more quiet and private, right? There were people who are more outgoing and more freaky. There are people. I mean, it's just real. It's just real people, and we just be surprised how different we are, and how much everybody pretended to be the same. Everybody is one of a kind.
Of whatever reason.
But you will be judged accordingly. That part. She said. Queen Jem said, "Yes, butter them up, then make the change." Exactly. Amen. True. Quick. Yeah, because that's what he does. That's what he got to do. He needs you to know that the woman had an issue of blood. He had an issue of blood for 12 years, and they all Oh, she can't. She got, because you know back in the day when you was bleeding, you ain't supposed to be around nobody. You're supposed to be in a house. So you know she ain't coming out. She did. 12 years. People whispered about her with the issue of blood, thinking, she is just unclean. And what's wrong with her? And blah, 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 blah. And in one moment, she became the storyline that if I could just touch the hem of his garment, I could be made whole. That she wanted it so bad that she touched Jesus and he felt the power leave him. She touched him. He didn't touch her. And she wanted it so bad. But I'm just saying, for 12 years, they spoke about her like she was unclean. Because that's what going through the issue, the menstruation cycle, right? It means I'm cleaning myself. I'm going through my cleanse for the month, so that my body can do what it came to do. 12 years. Come on now. And in one moment, life changed. God will change you in a moment. And they will remember who you were. That's why you got to say, you know what? I became my magic. Abracadabra. You have to have that. You have to own your old story with your new story, because that's when God said, when two touch and agree, it is so. When I remember where I came from, that's my gratitude. When I realize where I am, that's my attitude. And when I put them together, that's my altitude. So my gratitude with my attitude becomes my altitude. So if I lack gratitude and I have an attitude, then I ain't going nowhere. But if I have gratitude with a positive attitude, then I will fly. And it may not always be in a financial sense, because like I said, sometimes it depends on the person, right? And so comparison, again, is the thief to gratefulness. Remember, comparison is the thief to gratefulness. And that's what happens when we don't have the right attitude about what it required of us to be who God called us to be. We don't know what that looks like. And you may have been doing it wrong that whole time because that's all you knew. Didn't nobody raise you? You had to go out there and maybe become a stripper because nobody raised you. Nobody taught you. Maybe that's what you thought you could do. And so you showed up because that's what you knew.
Got to get what you want.
You got the young man that become drug dealers because somebody on the street pulled them and say, listen, I see y'all struggling. These sneakers got holes in them. You could get something quick. It was a desire. It was something that they longed, that lack, right? Became the fear, because I don't want to be stuck here like they are. So I'm going to take somebody else's way out that may not be the right way, but eventually God will grab you. That's right. And remind you the grace he put on your life as you was figuring it out, so that you could then be the testimony and the evidence of how you went through. She went through for 12 years with the issue of blood. She have a testimony. I dealt with child molestation from my own father. I have a testimony. Kia tells you she dealt with abuse in a relationship, is happily married now with somebody who adores her. That is a testimony. So life is about going through to get to where God goes. Don't take it personal, honey. Take it process, because it's a testimony. Some of our issues we put on ourselves, some they are put on us, but the who may kill you and the what will heal you, that's your wisdom hat, that's your testimony. And so it may be shame, but like I say, remove the shame and get in your lane, because that's how you become your testimony. And I see money in there. So if you pass the test, you're going to get some money.
Money.
Look, testimony. You pass that test, you're going to get some money. So maybe you need to get with the studying to show thyself approved to get that money, because you got past the test. You let your mess age, you got a message, and there's a story that's being told. That's all I'm saying.
That part, honey.
Listen, we already 17 minutes past the hour. You know we long with
that part. She said, yes, God put me in authority of children to be a change when their parents can't. I love it.
Come on now, that part.
Come on now.
Because
find your lane and find where God put you.
And
for you to show up, honey.
That part.
That part.
Be the gift.
I love it.
Be the gift God sent into this world.
What work.
Go through the stuff. Tell your story. Be the influencer, right? Just do your work. Do your part. Do your part. And it ain't going to be easy, honey, but it's going to be worth it. It ain't going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. I just want to thank God right now for everybody who has gone through, for everybody who has experienced pain, for anybody who has gotten caught up in just life becoming, right? Doing the work. You know, I pray that you can accept the things that you cannot change. I pray that you can let go. Love every trial so you can get over, right? The goal. Love every trial to get over, because you get to be here. Get is grace expects testimonies. That's your getting. And so when you are clear, even though somebody else don't understand there is a person who is in need of your authenticity, your story, your truth. Because in that is the guidance that gets them through. It is the hope that God has not counted them out, because you were honest to say, listen, when I didn't know no better, honey, he still found me. When I didn't know what to do next, he still found me. When I knew better and I still did wrong, he still found me. He has loved me consistently. And that's why you got to embrace the preparation, because you were built for the ride. You ain't going through nothing that you can't withstand. It is what you're telling yourself. It is the doubt in who you are when God said, I am that I am. How can you am and you questioning what God can do? You am that you am. What more do he need to tell you?
I am that chick. Sis, I am her.
Come on now.
I am her.
I am her.
Her.
I am her.
I am her.
He is him.
Me, Queen Jim. I am me.
I am Malcolm X. It's time for us to go. See, the hour has come. I am Malcolm X.
Malcolm X.
We're going to get our word for the day, honey. This has been an awesome coffee and conversations. Remember, we meet here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9-ish, depending when the coffee is a brewing. We're going to come and talk about it.
We have
this Sunday, if you are in the Charlotte area, it will be our first ever I Choose Me Healing Ministry session. It will be at 4833 Bearwick
Town Center Drive.
Thank you, boo-boo.
Bearwick Town
just all you have to do, it is free to you. All you have to do is bring an open mind, because I am spiritually erect and I just want to plant into some fertile ground so that you can nurture the thought and become who God called you to be. Is a place where there are no walls, floors, and ceilings to what God can do through you when you choose you, because he said to love thy neighbor as you first love thyself, after loving him with all your heart and soul.
Say neighbor.
And then he said, greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. And so bring your chair, bring your fold-up chair, bring your little beach chair, whatever that is, and come on out at 11 a.m. on Sunday. I will post a flyer. I'm going to get Esther to make me one today. And I hope to see you out. And like I said, for those who are not local, who cannot be in the actual space and give a hug and give some love, I will definitely be live on this platform. So wherever you are, I hope that you show up for you on Sunday, because it's time to I choose me. Because when we take care of ourselves, there will be nothing left to do.
But if you are in the Charlotte area, don't just stay home to look at it live. Come with us. Come be
outside
with us. Come out with us and worship with us.
Come on
in the garden with me.
Because what's the worship? I love that, Kia. Worship is, remember, I found out when I did that poem, worship is ours, so our ship. So worship means how we move on our ship. What's the energy? And so come with an open mind, and like I said, with fertile ground, so that Apostle Precious Paula can drop a seed. And
the dream revitalizer, honey.
And we could do what we came to do, because, honey, there's a word.
She got some stuff to say.
So right now we're going to find our message for the day, because God are so good, and we have spoken about something. But the first thing is that money, right? The love of money, as Mama Faye reminded me, is the root of all evil. So it's not about loving money, honey. It's about loving you. It's about understanding that whether you are rich or poor, we all suffer from lack because we have suffered from the comparison. Oh, well, they got somebody to love and I don't. Or they got money and I don't. Oh, they got kids and I don't. Oh, they got a car and I don't. Oh, they got a career and I don't. Oh, they got vacations and I don't. Don't worry about what they got. Why are you minding God's business? Worry about what you got so that you can so God can magnify you. He said he'll multiply anything and we are one. And one multiplied with one, any number multiplied with that number is that number, right? So you're already the one. So God said, all the dreams, cast them before me because you are getting in relationship with yourself and doing the work and I shall multiply you. Okay, so it's no excuses because you already won. If he gonna multiply you, what are you asking for? What work are you doing? What areas of your life are you giving to him for him to multiply? Because if you want him to do the math, you want him to do the addition, then guess what? You got to give yourself to him, and that's what I Choose Me is all about. Is so he can give a brand new life to you. Look, did we do the war yesterday? I don't know. Okay. God, please send us a message for today. Let's see, where will we go? Grace.
Okay, come on to grace.
We all need a little bit of grace.
Some grace right now.
It says, from his fullness, we have all received grace upon grace. Come on now. John 1:16. God gives us even more grace, as the scripture says. God is against the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. The humble, honey. That's James 4:6. The next one is, sin is no longer your master, for you no longer live under the requirement of the law. Instead, you live under the freedom of God's grace. Good God Almighty.
Let go.
Let go. See that? You live under the freedom of God's grace. That's Romans 6:14. God saved you by his grace when you believed. And you can't take credit for this. It is a gift from God. Ephesians 2:8. He said he will renew your mind. He said he saved you by his grace when you believe. That means you have faith, freedom after insight to higher self. You didn't take it personal. You realize God wasn't picking on you. He was picking you up. That's understanding the gift from God because he renewed your mind. He gave you new thoughts so you don't think them old things, right? And so if you could just receive the new thoughts, the new words, the new love, the new understanding, then you can move on. That's why he said, and you can't take credit for this because I renew your mind. Because you got a relationship with me, you got a new way to think about who God is and what I can do. That's why you need to be in a relationship with God, period.
Come on, Queen.
He needed you to become the gift.
The only one. Come on now.
It says, God, how do I begin to thank you for your grace? By definition, I am unworthy. And I daily prove this to be true. Come on now, because we lack in our actual character to some states in some degrees, right? So it's like, how can I prove this to be true, right? And possibly you love me no matter what I do. And I don't even have to ask. Before I even know I need it, it's already given. I am overwhelmed by your grace. Help me to show that same grace to my children and others around me. You hear that? Help me to show that same grace to my children and others around me. What does God's grace look like in your life? And so you want to hold that page, right?
I hold that page.
So the easiest thing to think about is that, right? I love that. What does God's grace look like to you? And so when we remember from whence we came, and we remember from what it took for us to be in God's grace, for us to accept Jesus as our Savior, so that we can say, I receive it. I want a new chance. I want you to continue to love on me. I want you to take me as I am while I'm doing the work, the ing. And so what grace does God have on you? That's why the first thing in that scripture say love is patient. And the word patient means to take time, or it means he's the doctor. Love is the doctor, right? The soul doctor. Because if love is patient, you are the patient. You are the person that needs that special love, that special attention. You the person that needs the doctor. And so if the greatest of this is love, that's why God made it patient. It takes time. Healing takes time. Understanding takes time. But once you go through the time and you arrive, that's the grace he's talking about. You remember that grace when you see somebody else on their walk. You remember that grace when you see somebody else trying to figure out, are they worthy enough to be loved by God? Is what they've been through enough for them to get out of his honor and out of his glory? Absolutely not, because he said you came to tell a story. And I needed you to go through the problem so you could become the solution, that X factor. And so how can you look at the people who are growing in God's grace and give them space to develop in the dark room? Don't judge them when they're in the dark room because you didn't want to be judged when you were. So bestow the same love, gratitude, and attitude into them as you would want into yourself. So I think grace is the name of the hour. Don't judge. Oh, them kids is this, that. Grace. Oh, this man is doing that. Grace. Oh, this woman don't know how to bend. Grace. Oh, my boss got an attitude. Grace. Oh, and people cussing people out. Grace. They out here with no clothes on. Grace.
They fucking naked.
These kids don't know how to say thank you. Grace. You understand? Practice grace. Thank you. Yes. You got some lighter fluid? Yeah. They want to put some on grill, huh? Chef Ron on the grill.
Oh, we got a gas grill. So
I don't use lighter fluid. That is true. I've been practicing grace. That part. It's a practice. Love. It is a practice. Because I always say practice don't make perfect. It makes permanent. The things you practice become a permanent way of doing it. If you practice the wrong way your whole life, it's going to be wrong, baby. Practice don't make perfect. It makes permanent unless you are practicing in the perfect life, in the perfect world, in the perfect way, right? So it don't make perfect. It make permanent, baby.
You are no longer held back from the laws. I'm giving you freedom. Like this was
to God be the glory. So yeah, listen. That car jumped out there. I guess that's
I'm flinging cars everywhere.
To God be the glory. Shut up in her bro. She better run around the living room, girl. She better run around the living room.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Gotta be grateful, honey, because he is patient with us.
One for me.
Which you got? I don't know. I'm gonna close my eyes and let God give me a prize.
I am cards. Y'all need to get y'all I am cards. What the F is your mustard seed? Y'all hit the link up there and get your stuff.
Yes, that part.
Y'all ready? All right.
Okay.
We about to.
Oh, you didn't get your card?
Oh no, it flung up.
Okay.
Okay. Y'all ready?
I am brilliant and I am gifted.
Come on with your brilliant gifted ass.
Oh my God. And since we are brilliantly gifted, God said I gave you grace on a space because I know I made you brilliant. I know I made you gifted.
Girl, let's go.
But how do you become gifted? That means you have to present yourself. If somebody gifts you something, you are presenting yourself. You are the present. Being in now. Embracing, right? Who you was yesterday, loving who you was today in order to inspire who you will become tomorrow. It is brilliant of you to accept new information. It's brilliant of you to let go of the things that you cannot change. It is brilliant of you to give somebody else the grace that you would want, what they said that you would damn well want yourself. Okay? And so be gifted in all things. Be brilliant in all things that resemble you, because you are God's most prized possession. I promise you that. He loves nobody as much as he loves you.
Come on now.
Nobody as much as he loves you. And so when we honor and we operate in the brilliance of knowing how gifted we are, then we can understand the grace that is on the space that we are in. So to become gifted is to be present. To be present is to let go of yesterday. To let go of yesterday is to accept today. Accept today is to live for tomorrow. What are you inspiring yourself to be?
That's right.
Be the gift.
Be the gift. Faye said that's why excellence is a habit and not an act.
Come on,
we ain't acting over here. It's a habit.
That's
be
good.
excellence over here. Come on,
excellence. excellent. The name in all the earth.
Come on now, Queen Jem.
In all the earth.
She says, we are his blueprint. Therefore, we are gifted and brilliant, just as he is glory. Hallelujah.
Thank you, Queen. Yes,
Come on now.
Yes. And that, my dear, has been a completed message, a prelude to what Sunday Inspirations, I Choose Me Healing Ministry is about you. It's about you. The doors of the soul is now open, honey.
Starts with me.
Come on,
everybody choose them and worry about them.
Greater is he that is in me than he is in the world. If I can activate the him in me, that's that perfect peace. That's that excellence. Us. How excellent. But yes, you too have a God peace. We all have a God peace. It is the perfect peace from the imperfect situations that was meant to come out. So have grace on yourself in order to have grace on somebody else. Forgive yourself for the choices that you made because God needed you to go that way. You had to work something out. You was assigned to that problem. So get over it and get into it so that somebody else can get through it. Okay? That part. So remember, as we always say, it is a relay race and somebody is relying on you to turn your heartbeat into a soul beat in order to leave your soul print. Because the fingerprint tells us what you got wrong in this world, but the soul print, oh my God, it tells us what you got right. And what God got right is you. So remember, we don't compete. Oh, no. We complete. And the difference between those two words is an L. And L stands for love because love grows everything. So remember, you can never turn on anybody else's light, but you can provide enough light for them to find their switch. So stay lit in this world so somebody can find their way out of the darkness. It is your responsibility. Remember that, right? That is the ability of measurement in which you can respond. Come on now, break them words down, honey. Break them words down so it can never be broken because words have power. And if it's my responsibility, that means it is enough in me to show up at my capacity. God gives you credit for what you have. That's why the person who has $1 million and give $1 is not getting as much credit as the person who have $10 and gave $5. He gave more. Okay. So remember, the more you give, the more you receive. So how you giving out there?
Now.
Yes.
Make sure y'all
Queen Jem, please read my post. Everybody, please go to the pricelisttrendsetters.com to read the post on, what was it, God? Reasons God gave us fingerprints. That part. So yes, please reach out. Let's read that. Let's find out. Let's talk about it on Monday.
That part.
We could talk about it on Monday for Monday's conversation. The reasons God gave us fingerprints. So if you open Queen Jem and want to come on with us after we read it and talk about it on Monday, you are welcome. I can send you the link. Just let me know. But yes, without further ado, you have been tuned into Coffee and Conversations. So don't forget to wake up and make today count. Remember, I choose me. # no more excuses because you were born enough. We'll see you hopefully on Sunday at 11 a.m. at 4833 Bearwick
Town Center Drive.
Yes, bring your chair, bring your
by the lawn,
honey, under the awning on a beautiful lawn. 11 a.m. We're gonna get it in and out before it gets too late. Love you guys.
See y'all
Sunday. You later.
Mwah. Have a good weekend.
Bye. Oh, and then you can catch me on all these major platforms as well on Sunday at 11 a.m. But if you are local, show up to the building. Got to come in for the blessing, honey. Might get an extra healing in the building. Come on now, you got to touch the hem. Peace out. Peace.